Make the decision to be creative. Don't just say, okay, I'm going to have a garden and throw some things down. Decide, I am going to have a magical creative garden where I can sit and meditate and where the butterflies will come and where I can talk to the plants and they will bloom beautifully. You make the decision to cook that creative dish instead of throwing things together the same way mindlessly. And of course, mindfulness comes in here too. Being mindful of everything you do, which Ram Dass says is the hardest thing for anyone to do. Being mindful in every single moment. So creative people are mindful in every moment. Creative people get experience in their crafts. So you need to get experience with drawing or painting or writing or composing or being a musician. It's been said that you have to practice your craft for 10 years before you can start really producing on a high level. And many studies have been done about that. And you may say, well, what about the Beatles? They actually practiced for 10 years in small dives and in Hamburg before they finally reached their first major success. And they were 10 years into their practice when they started creating their best work in 1966 and 67. So not to discourage any of you who are just starting a craft, because if you practice creativity, you do it for love and you do it as part of your mission. And you don't want to think, am I earning any money from this? Well, maybe if it's part of your mission, you do want to earn money, but you want initially to do this because this is your gift to the world. This is your gift to the universe. And if you are supposed to earn a lot of money just so you can spread the word, like Deepak Chopra, for example, then that's part of your mission, and you will do that. But perhaps you just want to do good, like Jennifer. I don't think she's making a lot of money out of what she's doing, but she has a mission to perform, and she's using her creativity to do it. And she's always in connection with spirit. Is that right?
That's
Yes.
right. Yes.
About what her mission is and what she's trying to do. And so that's the important thing, maintaining that connection with spirit, doing what you're supposed to be doing. The Bhagavad Gita says, do your duty and no one else's, that there is more joy in failing at your duty than in doing someone else's well. So my duty is not to be a romance novelist. I might be able to do that well because I've published a couple of historical romances based on past lives of mine. And I know how to write romance novels, but I know that that is not my mission. It is the mission of some of my former students who are writing best-selling romance novels that are entertaining people and also teaching them valuable things about relationships. But that's not my mission. So what is your mission? How can you actualize your connection with spirit? How can you raise your vibration? How can you actualize all the parts of yourself and your environment and your community to help you be what you're supposed to be? And then you'll be operating with creative synergy.
Yeah, that is beautiful. And, a few things came to mind. The first thing is someone that I know. She's very dear to me. And she often says, I want to be creative. I just don't feel creative. What can I do? What can I do to be creative? And start to be happy in my life. So it's a very big question. There's a lot in there. But if someone's listening to this and they say, okay, well, this sounds like an interesting book, but what can I do right in this moment? What would be one suggestion that you could give to have someone, start to feel that connection with spirit and start to listen to their hearts? What would you say?
Well, first of all, no one in my undergraduate classes is allowed to say I'm not creative. I teach undergraduate creativity, or at least I did until I just retired. And I say, no, we don't say that in this class. See, that is a negative affirmation. So I would say that the first thing to do is say, I am a child of spirit. Spirit is creative. Spirit created the universe. I am part of spirit. I am a co-creator. I am creative. And then meditate and ask, what would you have me do? The last time I got a good answer to that, the voice said, Atlantic University. So I
Yay.
went there, became a student, and then started teaching there. But the first thing is to get rid of the negative affirmation that you're telling yourself you're not creative or you can't do it, because that's blocking you. My website has a lot of information about creativity on it. So I want to share it with you. It's free, unlike the book. And it is www.bunny, that's Bunny, like the rabbit, Paine, Paine, like Thomas Paine, and then my husband's name, which is Clemes, Clem as in Mary, S as in Sally, .com. So that's bunnypaineclame.com. You will find a lot of suggestions there to help your creativity. You will also find an article, Not Fearing Fear, about what to do to get started if you're blocked or you're fearful. And a lot of suggestions there. And you can also email me at Atlantic University, BUNNY dot CLEMES at Atlantic, ATLANTIC, University, that's UNIV.edu. So that's bunny.cleme at atlanticuniv.edu. And I want to encourage you to take my creativity course at Atlantic University. To register as an MA student, you have to have a bachelor's degree, but you can also take it as a continuing education student. And I do have a lot of people that do that. So come see me in the creativity class at Atlantic University, and I'll show you that you're creative and you'll believe it yourself.
Oh, that's beautiful. And that's so true because, you and I have experienced several classes together and I enjoy the time so much and have grown so much in so many ways through those classes. And I do have another question too. And earlier you said the name of your book, Creative Synergy, came through to you a while ago in a certain way. I'd love to hear that story if you'd like to share it.
I don't even remember.
Oh,
It came to me
okay.
so many years ago.
Okay.
Um, when I moved from Texas to California, because I didn't like Texas, I moved without a job. And I had been running the creative writing department as a tenured professor at a college in Texas. I thought, how hard can it be to get a job? In higher education, if your major is English, it was almost impossible to get a job in California in 1991 when I came. I was very fortunate that Cal State Maritime hired me. So I was trying to figure out what to do. And I thought about maybe a consulting practice, coaching people on their creativity, because I've had a lot of experience doing editing and doing coaching and doing workshops on the side. And I said, and the name Creative Synergy came to me. And I said, okay. And I started making notes that just popped in my head out of the blue. And I started making notes. I kept making notes for years, even after I got my job. And then I shared the name with the man who became my second husband. And he said, I've heard that name in my head too, Creative Synergy. And so then I got a sabbatical to write a creativity book, sabbatical with Cal State Maritime. And so I wrote this book and titled it Creative Synergy. And since then, I have found that there are other things titled Creative Synergy out there. I can't use the name as a hashtag in Twitter because somebody else has it, and somebody else has a YouTube video called Creative Synergy. So I talk about the unified field that we're all part of, which Casey would call God, which we could call the field of all things, the A field, the 0 point field. I think the field was broadcasting that term, and those who listen can pick it up. We're all attuned to the parts of the field that relate to us in some way. I was attuned to writing and creativity ideals. Mozart, of course, was attuned to musical ideas. And I think that people that were operating on that wavelength created the signal. And why shouldn't the person who is going to be my husband get the signal too? He's on my wavelength, right? Even though we hadn't met yet. So it was just a broadcast that came. And I want to encourage people to meditate every day as much and as deeply as you can, and you will begin to get these broadcasts. And
Yeah.
that's the best way, really, to self-actualize your own creativity in your own life.
Mm.
And use your dreams.
Yeah.
Use your dreams. I had a dream some years ago that I was moving to Santa Rosa, which is an area of California near where I live now. And I had my movers in it, the movers that had moved me into my current home. And I said, I'm moving to Santa Rosa to be with the man I love. And the movers said, great. Well, I thought that was a funny dream. And I got out a map of Santa Rosa and I pinpointed a spot in it, a whole area where I thought someone might be that I might have a relationship with. And then I forgot about it. And then this man came into my life. He wanted me to edit his poetry as part of an independent study course he was taking. I instantly fell for him. I knew I had loved him many times before. And he said that he had been in Santa Rosa during the time of my dream. And when we got married and moved into the new home we bought, I got the same movers.
Oh,
It said,
wow.
I'm moving to be with the man I love and have just married. And I thought, so the dream state, of course, uses condensation and it pulls from the past, the movers, and the future, the new man, and it puts them together in one image. And sometimes you don't know what to make of the image at that time, so you need to record your dreams.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great advice. Oh, Bunny, thank you so much for joining me here today on 8 Minutes of Awesome.
It's been a pleasure. It's been awesome.
Oh, thank you.